Hello, everybody, and welcome to Eternal Mooncast special program, Bishoujo Senshi Slumber Party. We're on the current adventure of the React series of the Sailor Moon Deep Dub. This will be the discussion portion for episodes 46 to 50. Sailor Moon has a long and rich history, but have you seen everything? I'm Relia, and these are my friends Monica and Michi. We are three lifelong Sailor Moon fans who dove headfirst into the fandom and have stayed there ever since. We love being part of the amazing stan community surrounding this genre-defining series. If you've been watching and you'd like to jump to a particular episode, as always, timestamps will be in the description.
Now, we know some of you may not have seen the deep dub. If you want to watch along with us and enjoy our reactions, join our Patreon and get in on the fun. It's free. If you'd like to get our reactions 1 week early, and that is one whole American dollar, please enjoy. That link is in the description below. So I think that kicks us right off into launching into talking about this batch of episodes. And boy, was this, I think I have a note that says, this is, quote, this is a tedium of episodes.
All right, so let's delve into discussing episodes 46 through 50 this month. Monica and I have watched them both in Japanese and in English to try and give a little more commentary about them. The Japanese episodes, if your episode numbers, if you're following along with that, are going to be 52 through 56.
And we'll be summarizing each episode, talking about them, and sharing our thoughts with you. We're excited to share our favorite moments, what we loved, and everything else in between. Like I just said, a tedium of episodes. Join the chat, post the comments, and let us know what you thought about each episode, too.
These were some real winners.
Yeah, they were some real winners. Michi, do you have that Mooney disclaimer for us?
Yes, I do. Just so everybody knows, the following statements are personal opinions of Eternal Mooncast. Eternal Mooncast does not represent Toei Animation, fans, or the Sailor Moon intellectual property in any way. Thank you. Shout out Sailor Denzel, our citizen of the Mooniverse, and all of our wonderful Twitch subscribers. We love you all. We appreciate your support.
You help us keep coming back.
All right. And let's go ahead and get started.
All right. So let's get into it. Let's start with episode 46. Let's hit me with that Japanese title.
This is episode 52 in Japanese. The Japanese title is Targeted Kindergartners, Venus to the Rescue.
All right. And our DiC title?
Kindergarten Chaos.
Kindergarten Chaos. I love it. I
What?
love it.
Wasn't there a really popular movie around that time called Kindergarten Cop?
There was.
Yes, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I actually happen to love Kindergarten Cop. I still think it holds up as far as like levels of hilariousness. Some of the kid actors in that do put in some comedic performances are genuinely delightful. And there is actually a spiritual kinship between, in a weird way, Kindergarten Cop, which is delightful, and this episode, which is awfully less delightful. Let's just say not great. But let's get into it. Okay, this is going to be a Venus-centric episode, as the Japanese title implies. We open on Mina. She's with the first time I think that we've ever seen her bedroom. It is chock full of stuffed animals. Love that for her. She is in her stuffed animal-filled room. She's dreaming of Alan, and she is late for school, which maybe reminds us of someone else. She's running off for school. On her way to school, she runs across two, like, elementary school boys looking on an even smaller elementary school little girl. They're, like, they're shaking her down, like, for her lunch money, and Mina basically scares them off. The kid is, like, she pegs Mina as, like, a soft touch right away and convinces Mina to become even later by walking her to school. After that, Mina is on her way to school. She runs into Serena, who is also late for school, not because she rescued a child. She's just late. So they go their separate ways, and we then take over the point of view of Serena, who makes it to school very late. She's getting publicly shamed outside of her classroom. Alan sees her there and flirts with her for a while until Anne chases her off. Meanwhile, we cut back to that little girl from before. The little kids are bullying her again, and this time we learn that it's because she thinks Sailor Moon is real, and they do not think Sailor Moon is real. Mina once again shows up to help her, so she's conversing with the kid, and the kid's like, "Do you think Sailor Moon is real?" And Mina's like, "Girl, I know Sailor Moon is real, and I help her." And then ask her if she's also heard of Sailor Venus, and the kid's like, "She goes to school. We're Sailor Venus." It's a little bit of a letdown for Mina. But the little kid really wants Mina to like come to her school and like attest that basically that Sailor Moon is real to the little boy, so they'll leave her alone. This is a wild request, but she agrees to do it. Meanwhile, Alan and Anne have sent a monster to attack the elementary school kid bus. Their latest energy idea is like, little kids have lots of energy. Let's take it from them. I feel like there's some parents who are like, that. Say less, please.
But I feel like they could have gotten more mileage out of like a small child hamster wheel.
Oh my God.
What makes you in my point?
It's attacking school buses. Yeah. Apparently, there have been a few of these school bus attacks because the girls are tracking them in the news. Amy's calculating what bus the monster is going to attack next. Meanwhile, Mina does go to the elementary school kids' school and gives a presentation about the Black Sailor Moon wheel. The little school absolutely hate it. They don't buy it for a minute. But the program is over and the teacher's like, oh, I can't ride the bus home with you guys today. And Mina's like, I'll go with them and do it. Usagi just really also wants to get on the bus because they've been told this is the one that's going to be attacked. So she uses the disguise pen again to turn into probably a beautiful substitute teacher and then gets on the bus as well. The monster does, in fact, attack. The kids are very scared, but Mina's like, don't worry, Sailor Moon's going to save you. The monster attacks Serena and chucks her off the bus. Now that she's out of fright, she transforms. Mia also hops out the window. She transforms. She crescent beams the monster, but it gets back up. Moonlight Knight shows up. Motivational speech. Venus then uses an even stronger attack, Venus Meteor Shower, which kills it all on its own, which is dope. The kids are incredibly happy, and the little girl, Tamina, afterwards vows that she's a Sailor Venus fan from now on. And that's the episode.
Yep. Highlights from my notes. From the DiC dub, apparently Mina calls the kid little maggots of some point. I just have a note that says maggots with 3 questions.
It's we're little shits.
We're little shits, it's true. What if we were more little shits? Because DiC loves trash talk.
Oh, DiC loves trash talking.
Yeah, I have a note that says there is an incredible amount of trash talk being aimed at children.
It is, I think, to the benefit of this episode, which in Japanese was even more boring.
Yeah, we watched it together very shortly before we did that. But there was the way that the DiC these first 3 episodes, the way that they're cut up in the DiC dub, make them funnier. They were not benefited by being longer. These episodes were boring.
Yeah.
The thing that she turns into in the DiC dub, she describes herself as a wicked cool teacher. Very 90s Canadian slang.
Mm-hmm.
There apparently was another kid from wherever Molly is from.
Yeah.
Yeah. In both languages, Alan is like, you're so pretty when you cry. Queuing up that song by Vast. But one of the kids is named Carrie. I have that in hard air quotes. This monster has fat tits. I did leave a note that says that. We did watch this episode in the Viz dub in English. The Artemis's voice actor, not as fun as the DiC dub voice actor, but we know that I'm very attached to Artemis. DiC dub voice.
Him too. Not doing a bad job, but Artemis doesn't have a lot to work with personality-wise, so it helps when the voice actor gives more to it, which happens in DiC. You get more of a sense of personality from the way that he's voiced, and he feels less distinct in this.
Yeah, there's also a voiceover at the beginning where he's like, I'm Artemis, and this is the loser I live with. Oh, this is my difficult cat life. Yup.
Learn me. Okay.
He's not actually very mean to her. He's just like, this is the life I'm...
At one point, she's getting dressed for school. Mina calls him a pervert for being in the room while she's getting changed and, like, throws her pajamas at him.
Like a cat does.
Yes.
I'm sorry, he's just a cat. Yeah.
No, but
did not make it into the DiC dub.
Here's the thing. I argue this with a different tone could have been a really sad episode about how Mina is being overshadowed by Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I can see that.
You could have done certainly a lot with it because Sailor V was the original hero. She's got video games and stuff. You could have done a lot with the concept of her giving up the idea of being the main hero and becoming a supportive hero, like dealing with that. I think you could have done something with that, but not in the context of like goofy elementary school children shenanigans.
No, I'm just like, I'm sad just because like I see a good idea that was there and then it got degified.
Yeah.
Well,
The originally that's
explore it in Eternal Mooncast in your next Sailor Moon.
Yeah. That.
I was going to say it's coming.
No. Yeah. You can put that down. See if the guest has stuff to say about that particular topic. I bet.
Well, I'm going to have to send this episode to her.
Some other. Okay, so the little girl has a sweater that has Sailor Moon on it, which implies that there is Sailor Moon merch. Yep. And there's a huge detail missing in that if Sailor Moon merch exists in the world of Sailor Moon, Usagi would own Sailor Moon merch.
Oh, she'd be decked out head to toe.
She'd be like, "You like Sailor Moon, huh? That she's pretty cool, but she's the awesomest one ever, right? Yep.
No,
she's hot, right?
She would, though.
Can't marry her, right? Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me? Did you meet her? I would love to see the universe in which Usagi wears her own merch. She also cannot read the fucking room at all in this episode. A lot of sad and social blunders, which are sometimes funny, but these ones I didn't land for me. What other notes do I have? So Usagi gets thrown out of the bus. I didn't write this down. We watched it twice, and you can hear me react to it in the Patreon episode, but also, like, she convinces the monster basically to attack her untransformed so she'll get, like, knocked back out of the bus. But there's a hole in the side of the bus, and the door is not open, and she gets knocked back, not in the direction of either of these things. She just tumbles out of the bus by narrative contrivance. Yeah, but every time I was like, how did she finish this? He didn't hit her in the direction of either hole. Nobody. We envisioned the idea that she gets knocked in one direction, then she goes, I'm falling, and then like just rolls out in the direction. Oh my gosh. Which would have been hilarious, was intended. Which, despite the confusion over in what direction was Usagi being knocked out of this bus, it does lead to a really great moment where she breaks the line of sight with everyone so they can't see her transform. She transforms, and then she appears like in the window heroically to support the child who, like, yes, we're in the same room. Yeah, our friends in real life. Yep.
Believe it or not, all three of us have been in the same room before.
We have indeed. Yes, I just moved. This is my new house. I hung up a bunch of cool stuff in the background. Specifically for this reason, I have the outer senshi that someone made for me out of perler beads. They're little 8-bit guys. I have the signed shirt from one of my favorite bands. I have the Utena t-shirt, a limited edition Utena t-shirt a friend of mine brought back to me from Japan some time ago, among some other personal stuff that's on the wall back there. But yeah. And eventually I'll finish unpacking everything in my glass display case, and that top shelf will just be full of Sailor Uranus stuff. But we're not there yet.
You're getting there. It looks good.
Yeah. Anyway, I really love that moment where Usagi, like, she gets to have that really heroic moment of, like, arriving and then making that kid's wish come true, more or less. And she's able to pull that off by being like, oh no, I've been knocked out of the bus. Okay. This is the highlight of the episode for me. 100%.
Okay, but you're also missing Sailor Denzel's comment. One of my favorite Mina character traits is she's not afraid to throw hands with children.
Absolutely. She's so ready to their emotional level and the entire time. It's delightful.
I want to say she takes the high road once, but I can't think of one time she took the damn high road.
She tries, and then they insult her, and then she's immediately like, you're an ugly old bull hag. Bitch, shoot. Like, all right, Mac. He's immediately like, fuck them kids.
God, if she's an old hag, never mind for me.
Right.
I'm good.
For us. That is what children say to teens.
Exactly. Yeah.
The whole joke is that to a child, a 14-year-old girl is an old hag. Yeah. That's all I have to say for this episode.
This episode is like this could have been a phenomenal episode if it was like really tightly done. It's not. I do think it's stronger in DiC.
I'm afraid I have to agree.
I think benefits for all the DiC trash talk.
We're gonna say, I think we're to say this about the first 3 episodes. We liked the last.
Yeah.
Yes, to do
Absolutely not.
No.
Whatever the opposite of skip this one. Not a recommend. If you're doing a watch through where you're cutting filler, cut this filler. Go right past it. Or like watch the part where she gets knocked out of the bus and then shows back up to the kid and it's a little lower to triumph and then be like, oh, heart warmed. And then
Here's all that.
Oh, and then the only trivia for this episode is it says the voice of the kindergarten boys continuously changed from shot to shot from Sailor Moon dub wiki.
they just didn't give a shit. They're like, who we got around today who can give some voices for little boys? Bora agrees that it's mid.
It was three random guys.
Brass. Yeah.
Tony Daniels, Lindsay Collins, and Steve Benarski.
Okay.
Congrats to those three guys.
I hope you got paid. Okay. Yeah.
Walks.
And then they said naming the girl Carrie could have been a reference to Mina's original name in the DiC promo tape, where her name was changed to Carrie.
Interesting. Oh, okay. It's not a name with any sort of weight attached to it at all for a schoolgirl.
No.
No.
Your normal name. Like, truly, if they had wanted to, like, keep the Usagi name, like the pun, her name should be Bunny Mooney.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
We want to move on to the summary of episode 47.
Yes. Sure. All right. What's the Japanese title?
The
of this one?
Japanese title of this is Mamoru and Usagi's Babysitting Mayhem. I had to read my own handwriting. I was like, does that say nightmare? Because no, of course.
It's nightmare.
Mayhem. Yeah, mayhem. It could be nightmare.
And then
Yeah. Tell us what happens in this
First, what's
episode.
our DiC title?
Oh.
Baby Blues?
much about babysitting.
What to do about baby.
I know, it's somehow like even more dekified.
All right. Yep. Okay, so the aliens decide like they went younger, they went for children. What if they just go even younger? What if they just take energy straight from babies? They're just going to go for babies. They summon a Cardian. Her Japanese name is Amaterasu
With a D.
with a D instead of T, but explains why she has a whole sun theme. Serena and Amy are like out walking. They're walking past this daycare center and they're like admiring how cute the babies are because apparently in this daycare center, babies just have an outdoors time where they all just wander around an outdoor playground as babies. A monster attacks them. The babies all get taken to the hospital after the monster attack. One baby's mom also got attacked, so now there's no one to take care of that particular baby while the mom is still in the hospital. So Darian, who knows them somehow,
Yeah.
they think they say he's friends with the mom, like at the beginning, I think. It's unclear. He must know somebody because he agrees to take care of the baby while its mom is recovering. Amy, to make it clear, thinks this is a terrible idea.
Because she's right, but
She's right. But Serena wants to help because she wants to play house with Darian, basically. The baby is like crying left and right. Darian is absolutely failing to entertain it. It does a look who's talking thing where we're getting an internal monologue from the baby. So continuing on with how last episode really was this like shout out to Kindergarten Cop. This episode is a shout out to Look Who's Talking, where the baby is comedically like in the DiC version, it has this like grown man voice and like boss baby attitude.
it's pretty
Where it's heckling Serena and Darian as they're attempting to take care of him.
very clearly a look
Is-
who's talking. Here.
Yes. So they're doing their best with it. They're not doing great. The next time Anne also comes over to help, how did she know that this baby thing was happening? No one knows. How did she know with Darian's address? Again, no one knows. Very concerning. Not addressed at all. She just shows up. She wants to help, but the baby hates her. It pees on her multiple times. She leaves. Kusagi then shows up. She sees Anne leaving. She's very jealous that Darian let Anne help him. But in the midst of Darian and Serena arguing, the baby suddenly learns to walk. They're so excited they start celebrating. Amy then shows up to get Serena for some Sailor Scout business. They find that the monster is now attacking more babies. All the girls show up and attack the monster. The babies get captured into bubbles. Moonlight Knight shows up. He gives a speech. Mercury is very motivated by the speech. She gets a new attack, Mercury Ice Bubbles Blast, which is the same attack she had before, but with ice. Sailor Moon uses Moon Scepter Elimination, kills the monster. The mom finally gets out of the hospital and gets her baby back. Serena and Darian are like sad to see the baby go, but then the baby says versions of their names. I think it says Darian and then like Meatball Head. and that they're excited that it spoke its first words as well. They've gotten all of this baby's biggest milestones while the mom was in the hospital. The end.
Yeah.
That's the episode.
It was an episode.
My summary is a little bit padded out. Like, I included things that I normally wouldn't have bothered including because they weren't super relevant, just because the summary was already really short. That should give you an idea of, like, how much happens in this episode. It's not much. It's mostly baby taking care of shenanigans. That's, like, both good and bad, in that the baby comedy is probably the strongest part of the episode. Unfortunately, the baby comedy is in its strongest form in the Japanese version of the episode.
Yeah. So in the uncensored, non-DiC version of it, because as we also watched it Fizz dub, the baby does do a look who's talking thing. There is an internal monologue for the baby, but because that's not a Japanese movie, it's not trying to intentionally reference that pop culture thing. The baby just has an internal monologue. Yes, or this episode is garbage. We will agree with you.
Yep.
Completely. Anna and Alan are stupid as fuck. I have a note from the DiC that just says they're so stupid. I also have a note that says, what do babies sound like? The
Good question.
a bunch of adults making fucking noise. Juan still has absolutely no game. He has no game in either translation. Yeah. So in the Japanese / DiC dub, the uncensored version, there is a whole gag in the baby in Japanese has a feminine name.
Nanami, I think.
Right.
Was it Nanami?
It's like Nani, but it's Nanami.
Okay.
Nina. Yeah. And so they think the baby is a girl because he got a gender non-conforming name. And then they change a diaper and he's got a little wing. The little dick, the little baby penis.
Yep.
Which is animated. Which obviously, like, I probably would, even absent DiC's censorious nature, I don't think a little baby dick would float on American TV anyway.
Yeah.
They probably would have had to cut that regardless.
Yeah.
And so, of course, Usagi is like, why does a girl baby have a penis? And even if you even want to look at that for modern sensibilities, you're like, baby's probably not trans.
Yeah.
No, probably not. You have a little bit more of a sense of identity before that happens. So, like, there's a joke about, like, oh, it's actually a boy. Everyone assumed it was a girl because he has a gender non-conforming name, which is a fun gag. And then it's, like you said, it's just baby shenanigans.
I'm trying to think if there was, like, a point. Like, what did the Sailor Moon say about this episode even?
I don't remember.
I'm like,
Babies can't communicate with us, but it's important to try and help.
I don't know. Watch the episode on Patreon because we'll know how we felt about it. It's on record. I have a note that, like, still not sure why they need Cardians to collect energy when they seem perfectly capable of doing it themselves.
Yep.
Vina's dub English voice for Alan is really similar to his DiC dub in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where I actually wonder if the voice actor was like, I'm going to try to sound like that on purpose.
Right. They would be fine.
yeah.
I still can't remember how Mamoru knows the mom. I'm pretty sure at the beginning of the episode, he says, like, my neighbor or my family friend is in the hospital. Like, there's, like, a line. That's used a line. It's not explained at all past that. There's no establishment of his relationship to this woman. So for a lot of the episode, it's like they just let this random man,
free
baby, and a middle schooler take a baby.
Like an actual baby. Like, that's where I'm like, what? Or a week.
Yep.
Like, Serena's theoretically 14 years old in the early scene, Sailor Moon. So Mamo's what, like 17?
He's older in the night.
Yeah, he's like 19, 20.
or 20.
This early? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They made him older for no reason.
Yeah, they made him college age.
Okay. And I don't think if I was in charge of babies at a hospital that I would give them to a 19-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess technically he'd be a legal adult.
Right.
But, like, surely he is not authorized to take the child. Yeah, I don't know. It's very contrived. It's just
Okay. Or if I check it out.
18 and C1 compared to... Okay, so
And
he's still legally an adult.
Ura points out something which we did notice when we were doing our deep watch, which you can see on Patreon, which is that although the baby scatological moments were heavily, I don't know how it's supposed to say it, were heavily edited out of the deep dub. In the Sailor Moon Says segment, they left in some of the diaper changing, like peeing comedy, which was very strange. You'd think that the Sailor Moon Says would be the most wholesome part of the episode, but they were like, yeah, let's use those pieces that we cut from the rest of it. Literally. My favorite part of this episode that I left in my notes, it was just not actually about poop. It's a piss joke, but that's the best we could do. So I think my favorite part of this episode is the 2 times where Ami comes over to Usagi and in front of Mamoru, who they currently like don't know is anything. Special stack business. Just like,
It's the most 14 years old.
we have to go meet Lee's house. But once fight him not there twice.
Yup, she does it twice.
And it's very clear, like, hand over horrible whispering.
Yeah, she's like straight up like this.
This is very strange that this is Ami's power-up episode because it's really not about her.
No,
Not at all. Like, Mina's episode was theoretically about Mina. And Lita's episode will be about Lita. And Ray's episode will be about Ray.
and this was not about Ami.
Not about Ami.
Nope. DiC also winning with the translation of her power up because it's ice bubbles freeze in the DiC dub and it's bubble spray freezing in Japanese. Which again, which also the DiC dub once again faithfully, not the DiC dub, Biz dub, faithfully stuck to. And I feel like you could have said freezing bubble spray.
Yeah.
With the same mouth flaps. Yeah, I feel like you could have maybe gone bubble spray freeze instead of freezing or something like that. Like, once again, our big criticism of the Viz dub is that honestly, it could have done a little more localization.
Yeah.
In this perfect.
Yeah. It feels like they did translation, not locality.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Put
It
in
was-
for a quote, wash your hands of this episode. yeah, wash.
I like Usagi, oh my god.
Wash
Like Usagi now.
Actually, really was after the Ching doing it.
Oh my god, this show. And for some reason, it's just these episodes, like, I can see somebody really had a thought and it just didn't pan out.
Yeah, I think it's hard too because you compare these to the individual episodes that characters got in season 1, which were so strongly emotionally driven and powerful, whether it's Lita's episode about her one platonic best friend or Mina's episode about like her British backstory, various Amy episodes with Greg. Like those episodes actually gave strong character development to the 4 girls. And then there's these episodes, which are also things that are occurring and they don't feel like they have emotional punch to them. And I think that's really where the difference lies.
I agree. And it's just, there's not much to say on it.
No.
Oh, the Yama was really pretty. Cardian.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
She's really pretty design.
Yeah. Beautiful. Gorgeous.
Not sure what that has to do with the theme of the episode or why they would decide that, like, the pinnacle Japanese deity is going to be done dirty like this.
Could just be randomly using strands of her hair to steal energy from babies.
Yeah, and, like, baller design for a completely correct. And, like, kind of an auspicious design. Like, you're doing an Amaterasu send-up. Like,
Garrett.
I could show her a little more respect, man.
Exactly.
I have to wonder, because, like, I know that a lot of the shows at this time, and shows still, are produced in a hurry and on a tight time limit. Maybe they were scraping the bottom of the barrel. Maybe like, we don't have anything for this week. What do B string writers? What do you have? What is on? Yeah, we're like, what about a monster? What have we got? What have we done? Sexy lamp? Yeah, we did that. Toothbrush? Yeah, we did that too. Bat lady? Did that too. What about, I don't know, fucking Amaterasu? Chief goddess of the sun. You sold patron in Japan. Yeah. It's done. Send no more. Ship it. one JT specific note here of one thing that happened specifically was hilarious, which is in the, like, look who's talking baby monologue. At one point, Darian, like, feeds the baby and the baby's is happy about it. And its internal monologue is, thanks, Mr. Purple.
Oh my god, that's true.
Phenomenal.
Mr. Purple Pants fits him so well, though.
All right, we're going to move on to the next episode, which is better.
Which is much better.
Of the three stinkers, I think this one's the best one.
Yeah, of the three.
Okay. So episode 48/54, the Japanese title is The School's Festival is for Me, with an interrobang as a question mark, an exclamation point. Queen Raye's song. Queen Raye, I suspect that was Raye-sama, and that's how it was translated on, how the BizDub chose to translate it.
Interesting. And DiC translated it as Raye's Day in the Spotlight.
I think it's better.
Yeah, and my notes translated it as Raye's singing episode.
That's what I wrote it down as.
Raye Day in the Spotlight. And there's a little bit of a ring to it. All right, so in this episode, we find that Lita and Mina are helping out at Raye's temple, while Raye is apparently helping organize a school festival. By helping organize a school festival, what we discover this means is that Raye is bossing around absolutely everybody, telling them everything to do. She is running the entire festival, and she is
queen.
the entire festival.
So true.
However, fortunately, all of the other schoolgirls are like huge fans of her. They're like, wow, Raye's so amazing. She's so cool for doing this. Raye can do everything. We'll do whatever you want, Raye. Raye has written every single song for the festival. It's going to have musical performances performed and written and scored by Raye. It's just her show.
It is.
Amy immediately accuses her of using the school festival to showboat. Raye shamelessly agrees that's what she's doing. She said, I put in all the work. Why shouldn't I?
I can't fault her. I didn't.
Her and Anne are also outside the festival. The sewing club sees them and just immediately yoinks them because the models who were going to be modeling in their fashion show got sick. Then Alan and Anne happen to have the perfect measurements. They chuck them into costumes for their alien-themed fashion show. Alan and Anne
seem to be having a great time with the fashion show. Frankly, they're loving receiving their applause.
The girls have shown up to the festival to support Raye. Raye finally goes out for her performance. A monster who looks like an orca mermaid, very pretty, but just an orca mermaid, attacks Raye. The girls see this, they transform and attack the monster, which frees Raye. But then the monster uses its hair to grab them. Monsters using their hair to grab the characters. This was a really common,
really big
in the last episode. So the horny animation team, of course, uses this as an excuse to tear up Raye's dress needlessly. But Raye is freed. Mars transforms. She attacks. That frees the other girls, but the attack doesn't hurt the monster. The girls have all been, like, losing oxygen, so they all pass out except for Mars. Moonlight Knight shows up, gives a speech. The monster then, like, throws all of Raye's sheet music into disarray, which she gets really sad about because she worked so hard on it. And then she gets pissed off because it's Raye, and that's what she does with her emotions.
Our Aries queen.
Yup. She gets new, more powerful attack, Mars Firebird Strike, I believe, with a flaming phoenix. The girls get back up. Sailor Moon defeats the monster. Raye then steals the speech that Moonlight Knight had just given to her, delivers this speech to the crowd before singing her song. We get a beautiful cut song of, what is it, A Shining Star? Something like
I didn't write down any of that.
By Starry Night?
Starry Night is the D.
Yeah. The Japanese song.
Something else, yeah.
Right. I think Oh Starry Night.
Oh, yeah. I have Hell Yeah, Oh Starry Night.
Oh, yeah.
And girls afterwards, Serena's like, wow, Raye, you're such a hard worker. And then Raye says something really mean to her. And that's the episode.
Let's see. This one I had a bunch of notes for.
Go for it.
More fun than the other two. Far. My first note is we got that DiC music. Once the DiC really killing it. Wonderful scoring through this. Someone says the phrase bodacious food. It was up, and I felt the need to write that down.
Yeah. And a body said,
no, it's. I have a note that also said it's called Fashion Sweaty Look It Up. Another note that says, what is it with the Sailor Moon world and just recruiting people off the street? Apparently, they let Raye keep her last name in the DiC dub. They mentioned this, like, it's Raye Tino. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? They didn't make her last name like Hines, right? Raye Hunter. Yeah. I'm shocked that they let her keep her last name. The monster's name is Amphibia. Yeah. Oh, Starry Night fucks. Hell yeah, Oh, Starry Night is in fact the note that I wrote. Yep. And that's all my notes for the DiC dub. I love that in the Japanese, there's a joke where Usagi does not know the difference between Buddhism and Shintoism. Yep. We made a joke about Usagi, like, going to a Jewish temple and being like, okay, but I don't want to receive the Eucharist. No, like, we don't do that here. You don't do that. Your grandpa is trying to recruit for shrine maintenance the entire time. He's hustling the entire time trying to recruit people to join as shrine maidens. And he says that to Usagi, and Usagi's like, listen, I'm not memorizing sutras. And he's like, that's Buddhism. We're Shinto, we don't do that. The whole thing is hilarious. Since moments. I had forgotten that Raye goes to the TA girls' school. And not that they tell us what TA stands for, but I'm sure Ura knows. Yeah. Let's see. I can't read my own freaking handwriting. Oh, I like how they put Alan and Anne in the ridiculous alien costumes. And for like half a second, they're like, is this racist? Both of them were like, you making fun of me? Did you make fun of my alien culture? More absurd than the last. Yeah. At one point, they're just like dressed up as. Yes. Yeah. The monster's name is Siren in Japanese, which is cool. I think Ura pointed out that this cardigan has boob jiggle, which I did notice.
This is the horny animation team.
Huh? What is it? Yeah. Fun fact, the cardigan has animated jiggle to her chest, which we often don't see in.
Bruh, it's expensive to do that. Dedicate frames to that, and this team was like, we're doing it. They were like, worth what the horny animation team does.
Oh my god. So funny.
Raye just fucking plagiarizing her motivational speech at the end. Yep.
That was so funny.
True in both the DiC dub and the Japanese. That they were faithful to that. It's dull Yolka's speech.
Let's see her.
I also have a note that said I had to stop taking notes because Max got into tangents. Max is my cat.
I think my biggest thought in this episode, this was an episode where I very strongly felt that the episode was noticeably weaker again for the fact that Viz was a translation rather than a localization, because when you literally translate Raye's song from Japanese into English, it will no longer rhyme or scan properly in any way. The song doesn't work as a song. And so when the whole point of your episode is that Raye, like, he killed herself writing these songs. Like, she was up agonizing over them night after night to make sure they were really good. And that everyone ends up being so impressed by them because they didn't know that she had such a depth of talent. She's so incredible. And that doesn't work very well if, from an English-speaking point of view, the lyrics are incredibly bad. Yeah, so it really, to have translated rather than localized Raye's song really hurts the effectiveness of that episode, because at best you have to distance yourself from your immersion and say, I have to assume that this was better in the original Japanese. And that just won't make an episode successful. If you have to take yourself out of the moment to try and be fair to an episode, then that is a weakness of the localization. So this was a case where I felt that it really shows how not only obviously are the DiC songs just bops, but just it was also better because it was written for an English-speaking audience.
Yeah, it does have that going for it. Ura looked up the reference to TA school and wine. Go ahead and put that up.
Yeah, do you want to read it?
Yeah, the school's based in the Toyo Ewa Jogakuin, a private Catholic school also located in the Minato ward of Tokyo. In Sailor Moon, the TE is changed to TA, and the architecture and many other aspects match the real school.
Oh, cool.
Someday I would like to go to Japan, and I feel like I'm going to go there and be like, I know where all these places are. Because I'd play lots of video games and watch shows that take place in animated Japan and be like, oh, it really does look like that. Wow.
And then Ura also points out the other song was called Everlasting Memory Melody.
Melody, yeah.
Yep, and also I do agree. Raye is honestly the embodiment of gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
So true, and a lot of it's so true.
And Ura's here. But I'm curious. No, I was just gonna say Ura's talking up this episode. So, like, why do you love this episode, Ura? I'm really curious.
Are you a Mars fan?
Wait for the response.
Yeah.
I thought this one was not bad.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. And this is one of those ones where I'm sitting there thinking things like, I bet there are lots of other people at her super expensive all-girls Catholic school who also like to sing, who maybe would have liked to perform in the talent show.
This ain't about them. It ain't about.
They didn't put in the work more. We should have put in the work, the hours.
We were also talking about how we really liked the cheap psychedelic backgrounds. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
The anime, which we were also talking about it being reflective of the manga and the way the manga like implies setting through abstract, beautiful frames of the panel or like the suggestion of a hallway. Yeah. We've
That makes it more magical. Okay, yeah.
Here's our response.
Okay. Or it says, my favorite song from Raye in the entire anime is
Eternal Melody.
Eternal Melody in the Japanese version. I'm very easily affected by music, and Michi Tomizawa really nails the emotion in her acting, especially singing as Raye. It's a sub makes the difference. So that's why it wasn't hitting.
Yeah, I'm sure that in the original Japanese with subtitles, it's
Hits so much harder than the Viz.
I did like Call My Name, though, and I'll be there. That was a good song. But yeah, it's another very good filler episode.
yeah, I think it's certainly much stronger than Venus and Mercury's episode.
Yeah. At least it's about
She's on the billboard.
It's about her. It's about her behavior. It's about her emotional growth. She didn't really learn a lesson. She's
For
learned
one
so-
cut.
She's found Ray learned a lesson. God no, that's for lesser people.
At all.
Yeah, huge change, nothing.
Oh my god.
She's like, can't fix perfection. Fuck you. Like,
So it's outside in my mind, she wrote a song about Mina.
yeah, I wouldn't argue with that.
I'd be okay with that.
Like, I'm here for Ray Nako shipping.
Yeah.
I'm all about the way the foreigners pair off. I'm a big fan of both Mina and Ray.
And there's certainly a hefty reading that can be made in the next episode for Amy and Lita.
Yeah, they're
Ami Mako are very gay in that episode.
and I can see more of the argument that like Mina and Ray are like iconic best friends. Like both of them definitely like boys, but they also really like each other and like would like Boston wives with each other. I could see that. Like, and it's not they love each other, but it isn't. I could see the argument that it isn't necessarily romantic.
Sure.
Unperfect ship, just to be really clear.
Yeah.
But like every time and Ami are together, you're like big kissing on the side. Like she takes time out of homework to kiss her. Like or maybe like Ami also reads very asexual to me. So maybe like maybe Mako is like, I love you. Here's her. Please stop. Please take a break. Like, I feel like they have a more romantic relationship. They love each other so much. Like
There's a degree of like affection, caretaking, and of seeing the other person on them.
yeah. Mina and Ray have a kind of like bachelorette party energy about them. Yeah.
That's about it. So let's keep going. We need to talk about our English title, but go for it first.
And I have some notes about that. So go ahead. Give us in episode 49 or 55. What is the English title?
Deep title for this episode.
A children's show for the title, which they censored the hell out of the episode, but named it Food Fetish.
They called it Food Fetish. And yes, it's true that fetish means things other than a sexual fetishes. But that doesn't mean it's necessarily French children.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that neither definition is appropriate for this episode.
No.
But the Japanese title is Seijiro, the Moonlight Knight, Makoto Falls in Love.
Does Seijiro's gay? All right. Or as I've written it down in my notes, latest food episode.
That's what it is.
Yep. All right. We discovered that there's a new fad of people like bringing lunch for their sweetheart Melvin made lunch for Molly. All the girls in class are like fangirling once again over Alan, who's romantically longingly playing his flute. Lita gets really into it. Amy, meanwhile, is like, I wonder if Alan could be the Moonlight Knight, because he appeared around the same time as the Moonlight Knight appears. And we're living in a world where nothing is coincidence, so he could be. Lita's like, I'll look into it. All the girls really want to give Alan food because of this new sweetheart giving their sweetheart food fad, but he's like, I don't eat. Alan escapes to the roof to flee the fangirls. Lita sees him escape to the roof and is like, whoa, did he just jump up to the roof? He really could be Moonlight Knight. She follows him up to the roof with her lunch. Meanwhile, Serena is also looking for someone to give her their lunch, but Amy has already finished her lunch while researching Alan on the computer. So Lita does get up there. She's sharing her lunch with Alan. He's super grossed out by it. Again, they don't eat food. The aliens don't eat food, so this is so gross to him. But she convinces him to try one, and he likes it. Alan really wants to know why people have this thing for, like, feeding the people that they care about. He's like, explain this to me. Anne notices them on the roof. She interrupts, and she's like, why are you putting weird shit in your mouth? What is this? She gets into an argument with Lita. Meanwhile, Alan starts choking on some of the food and they ignore it so that he can argue with her more. Serena goes home hungry, discovers that Luna brought her lunch finally. Anne is very pissed at Alan for having eaten human food, so she storms off. Lita really wants to walk home with Alan, and he uses this opportunity to ask her more about what's this strange connection you've described between food and liking someone. What is that all about? Serena hears that Lita is out with Alan and she gets super jealous because he's supposed to be hot for her. Anne shows up in alien form and attacks Lita because she's also very jealous. Sailor Moon interrupts with Sailor Mercury in tow. Alan transforms into his alien form to help Anne. They summon this monster, Mophead. Jupiter also transforms. The enemy wraps them all up in seaweed. Moonlight Knight appears to free Sailor Jupiter. She uses her new powered-up version, Jupiter Supreme Thunder Dragon. Venus and Mars, they just show up to help too. Sailor Moon finishes off the enemy. Jupiter asks Moonlight Knight who he is, and he's like, this ain't the right time for that. And then Jupiter decides he can't be Alan because he's not emotionally stupid. And then at the end, Alan buys a bunch of food for Anne to show her his feelings. They're both very weirded out by it, but it is very cute that the whole time he was like, so if I like someone, I should give them food? And like, yeah, you gotta give me food. He's like, okay, and here, I got you food, which is very cute, just in a vacuum.
It's so, if they don't have a concept of eating, that means they also don't have a concept of pooping. Yup.
Oh my God.
They've never known what that room in their apartment was for, probably. With stored stuff in it.
There's like a toaster in there, like.
True. We bought some goldfish. Yeah, you're like, oh, it comes with a fish. It's a little pond. In the DiC dub, Lita calls Molly Moll, and Amy Ames, and I thought that was really fucking cute. Really, it was so cute. I wrote it down.
I wonder, like, I almost wonder if the voice actress ad-libs that.
Oh, almost certainly.
Because she's so talented. She's so good. And I could easily see her thinking, this character's very casual. She's very quickly close with people. I think she would have nicknames for them and just went with it, which is so great. I hope it was her choice because it's so intuitively strong.
Yeah. I have a note that says Alan learns how a mouth works. Good things in it. Yeah. Dutriarch canceled on account of the alien learning they can just eat food. Yep.
Oh my God. Can you imagine it?
Eat a Snickers.
If that'd work, though.
You went to an alien when you're angry. Maka, the only person who got wise to their incest act. Like,
they're
policy
exchange or like, yeah, you're weirdly jealous for brother and sister. And she's like,
that there's something going on here that's not right, or you two are not actually brother and sister. She's like,
and it's like, she's on something.
In Japanese, I have a note. This one we did watch in Japanese. I have a collection of all of Sailor Moon's that we watched, my subtitled episodes that I had saved in my. It's fucking Kenny GF music at the beginning. There's some moonlight, talking about the Moonlight Night, like just a
It's like Kenny G Arabic theme.
Yeah, like, oh God. While she's like romantically daydreaming about him, what Orientalism via clarinet. Yup. No better way to describe it. Man, Vita also frequently cuts the parts where Usagi gets in trouble at school, which I find interesting because, like, that's a thing that happens to kids.
And it's not like they're showing like corporal punishment.
No, like she gets embarrassed, like the bucket holding thing. I don't know what the point of that is. It's not.
Maybe
I guess it's a corporeal punishment, but yeah, I don't understand. Makes your arms tired.
Yep.
What other note I have? So in the Japanese, there are a fuck ton of food innuendos. The food fetish title is so much more appropriate to the Japanese episode than it is to
It's what's fine because like there was no food fetish stuff in that episode.
There was just a lot of like jokes about like putting things in your mouth, like through the whole episode in Japanese. Just a lot of food innuendo jokes. Or at least the subtitles on the episodes that I have translated it that way. At some point, one calls Mako an impudent human female. Or at least that was the translation my subtitlers went with, which is great. Perfect choice. I don't know enough Japanese to critique that translation, but I love it. Let's see. I also fucking forgot that their Seijiro and Natsumi are their Japanese aliases, and the girl class name is fucking Ginga. Yep. We're like, yeah, who are we? We're the aliens. What's your last name? Galaxy. Yup. Space.
It's like I love that type of stuff.
That's fun. My name is Spaceman. Thanks for Joe and Jane Spaceman. Of the New Jersey Spaceman. The monster's Japanese name is Utoni Beriru? Something like that. I wrote it down, but I have bad handwriting. There was also a lot of bondage cut from this episode. And once again, we have a mop-themed enemy, and we're going to tie everybody up. Just going to tie everybody up.
Yep.
People are going to get wrapped up in a comically large ball. We've done this before.
The comically large ball gets bounced on a fountain.
It's pretty funny. That gag, the tied up in a large ball gag is a fun. I enjoy it. It's a good slapstick bit. They start getting tied up, and you're like, "Come on, we're doing horny monsters again." They go what a seaweed in this gigantic ball with both Moon and Mercury together. Just put them on top of a fountain.
The monster at one point is like, "This is hilarious."
Just watching you guys
they go far enough with it that it becomes
genuinely funny. I also thoroughly enjoyed. There's a part where Ami is like running the algorithm on her 1992 computer, and she's typing crazy with one hand and eating her lunch with the other. It's great.
And she's like, I see. So I've checked the possibility that Alan is the Moonlight Knight. She's like, there's only a 0.2% chance. No,
I'm gonna rule it out. No, we can cut that short right there. Related to that, everyone in the show is fucking face blind. 100%.
I give her credit that she was close. Like, Shikani was suspicious.
She did notice that they had arrived at the same time, and like she was not wrong in her assumption that they might be related. Like,
yeah, she had a genre savviness to that hypothesis.
And I believe for once they both have blue eyes. Yeah. Sometimes like they're like, could this person possibly be Tuxedo Mask? But like not the same height.
Right.
It's like I love him. He's a big beefy guy.
Lap.
He'll be 50 years old. Not even the right color or age. Like at least this is a pale skinned fellow with blue eyes. Like we know,
like that's not, and like it's all covered up. Yeah, and you obviously miss what color his hair actually is.
Yeah, I'll give her a credit for that. But like other times they're like, could this man be Tuxedo Mask? And I'm like, no, Melvin. Yes. No, wrong.
My
police. Wrong. Just wrong. At least this one a little warmer on her part. Like, and have you never noticed that Alan has like those like fox-like eyes,
right?
Like eyelashes up to here. He has his crazy eyeliner.
So I have a note in here. I made a note on an early gag in this episode where they're establishing the idea that people are bringing lunch for their sweethearts. Melvin brings lunch. She's like, Molly, I made you a bento. And Molly, again in Japanese, so Naru is like, is it going to be fried shrimp again? And he's like, the vegetable is this, and the vegetable, the other vegetable is this, the other vegetable is this, and of course, fried shrimp. And she's like, huh. And then you see another scene where he's feeding her from the bento, and the whole bento box, which is probably about the width of his torso, all out the top is just so much fried shrimp. Implying that the man has one bento idea and it's fried shrimp.
You know what? I give him credit. He has a good meal. He knows his strengths.
For her, like he's trying. He is trying, but it is so much fried shrimp.
So a little further down in the comments, Alan isn't hot until he turns green, which is true.
It's so true.
Kind of like the Incredible Hulk. Tons, yeah. But related to Alan and his human form, I have a friend in high school who was really into Sailor Moon. Like one of the reasons that I'm as into it now as I am. And there was a guy named Alan who went to our high school who looked kind of like Alan. And she had the biggest crush on him because he looked like Alan from Sailor Moon. And he okay, I'm going to be very clear that he only passingly looked like Alan. He had that shaggy, short hair kind of, he was a white guy. He had blue eyes. The similarities are there. He didn't play so he could be the Moonlight Knight. But he could be the Moonlight Knight. The jury's still out.
They appear around the scene.
Okay. Yeah, and she had the biggest fucking crush on him because he looked like Alan, and that's my fun.
That's hilarious.
That.
Genuinely sandy brown hair, blue-eyed dude named Alan. I don't think he had any idea that he looked like a cartoon character and drove her to be attracted. He knew she was into him, but I don't think he knew why. Yeah, that's my high school story. And I know that person's not watching the show.
No, and find out Alan.
Yeah, he's definitely not watching the show. I'm not going to say that person's name, but Alan, if you are watching, that's why she liked it. You have my friend wouldn't be subtle. Yeah, she wasn't. We were also high schoolers.
Yeah, high schoolers.
High schoolers. Yeah, I have that friend to thank for a lot of things in my adulthood. You were a cool friend.
Awesome.
Yeah, I hope she's doing okay. Anyway, that's my anecdote. I guess we can just go right ahead and move on to the last
one.
Let's do it. All right, what's our Japanese time?
Okay, so this is episode 50 of the DiC dub and episode 56 of the Japanese. And the Japanese title is Steal Mamoru's Kiss, on Snow White Strategy.
Mirror on the Wall.
Yeah.
Mirror on the Wall. Perfectly good DiC title.
Yeah, I'm gonna even go maybe a better title.
I can like it better.
Yeah. It's a nice punchy one.
All right.
That's a great thing. This is an iconic boob episode.
Even says, yeah, this is a iconic world.
Wow. So this is the talents. All right, so we go with Anne reading Snow White. Meanwhile, the girls get together because they find out that Darian has a problem. He's supposed to be in a play, but all of his friends dropped out of the play. And so now he is no one to be in it, but he still needs to put on the play. So they decide to go help him. They decide that the new play that they do, and I think the previous one was going to be Hamlet. They were previously going to
I think
it was a Shakespearean play of some kind. But now instead they've decided
Richard the Third.
Love it. Love it. Now instead they've decided to do Snow White, which they all think will just be easier. Unfortunately, all of the girls want to be Snow White. Darian's upset because this is the same problem that caused people to all drop out of the last cast. They couldn't decide who could be who. So they're all arguing over why they should each individually be Snow White. Raye thinks that she should be Snow White because it was her idea to perform Snow White.
Yep.
Usagi thinks she should do it because, I don't know, she's the cutest or something.
Yeah, I think
It's something like that. Lita thinks that she should do it because she has the most talent. We'll come back to that. Mia thinks that she should do it because she's the most poised and graceful. And Amy hilariously thinks that she should do it because Snow White is asleep for the most of the play and has the least lines, and she's so busy with studying that she thinks that's the role she should take. The funniest thing Amy is told. We should have given this to her. So funny. They could have avoided all the drama and no, she's the only person with a good reason. Yep.
Like a good valid reason too.
So you can skip rehearsals too. It would have been fine.
Exactly. But they can't sign. Anne shows up. also wants to be in Snow White. She suggests that they should draw lots to find out which of them will be Snow White. In fact, she's already created the lots conveniently. One of them, they're like these little, basically the straw wrappers, and one of them has a blue tip, and that one will be the evil, or that one, one of them has a red tip, and that one will be the evil queen. 7 of them allegedly have a blue tip, and those will be the 7 dwarves, and one of them has a white tip, which will be Snow White. Serena draws first. She gets the evil queen. The other girls draw. They all get blue straws, which means they're all dwarves. And Anne goes, I guess the last one then is me. I guess we know who it is. And she pulled it out, and it has a white tip. And she's like, oh, what a coincidence. I guess I'm Snow White. And walks off. And then is like, those suckers, and reveals that, of course, she still has the end of a tip of a blue one in her hand. She had just ripped it while pulling it out. There was never one with a white tip in there. There were just 8 dwarves. Anne also wants Alan to participate in the play, but he refuses to participate because he only wants to participate if he can be the prince. He can't be the prince because Starian's already doing it. He really wanted to be the prince because he's envisioning himself kissing Serena as the princess. Practicing for the play, Anne insists that the thing they have to practice the most is the kissing scene, because that's the climax of the whole play, so they really have to make sure they get it right. So she's got to practice the kissing scene as much as possible. This doesn't go well because she's really bad at laying there pretending to sleep and keeps trying to put the moves on Darian as he's coming towards her, which is hilarious. The other girls, so they all get fed up with how it's going. They wander off. The other girls admit that they all knew that she cheated, except Serena, who didn't figure out. But they explain to Serena that they let her get away with it because they feel bad for her because she has no friends. And she isn't good at making them. Serena still thinks that cheating is cheating, though. She still gets with her on that one. Yeah. They all do agree to then go talk to Anne about it. But when they're following her to go talk to her, they find that she's gone to Raye's shrine and she's there praying for the success of the play. And so then they all feel bad. They're like, oh, wow, this actually must mean really a lot to her. So they decide not to confront her. So the 7 dwarves are not the 7 dwarves. They are, in fact, the 6 sports mascots. It's the 4 girls plus Molly and Melvin, who at some point they must have roped in to do this as well. They're like, why are we in these big, furry costumes? And Melvin's like, you said you wanted this play to be innovative and different. And also I got a really good deal on these costumes. Aren't they super cute? They're like, how is this cute? I guess Melvin is more of a furry than they are. Serena is the evil queen. She actually looks really cute in her evil queen costume. I love it. Opening night comes around. Before they can perform, the monster of the day, who in Japanese is Bipiero, which is just the French word for clown, but with by in front of it, crashes the show, destroys the set, and tries to stop her because she really wants to perform the show. She's very upset about this. The mascots all get entangled. Bipiero steals energy from the audience. Sailor Moon Henshin's interrupts. Moonlight Knight comes in to assist. The other girls come in to assist. Moon Scepter elimination. The audience loves this. They love this way better than what those chuckle fucks are gonna, which must be rough for the people who wanted to perform in the actual show. And then at home, Anne is still actually really sad that Alan ruined the play. She's like, oh, I really wanted to kiss Darian. And then Alan outside the door is like, oh, I really wanted to be the prince and kiss Serena. Fucking freak. And that's the episode. Yep, just fucking preach. Oh my God. This episode's funny. It is very, very funny episode. The subtitles that we had for this episode translated the evil queen as the mean queen. Yep. Which is great. She's the mean queen in my brain from now on.
That's so cute.
I don't know that the explanation for the mascot suits is in a DiC dub. I think because I have a note that's like, yes, the 7 dwarves, famously mascots. I also have a note that says where all these people Hamlet. It is Hamlet. Where all these people they perform for a sold out show. Yep. And so I'm like, were all these people expecting Yes, the talent jokes. Yeah. So if you're not aware that in the DiC dub, Jupiter says she has the most talent. In the original Japanese, she says she should get the role because she has the biggest breasts. Yeah. And the other girls are like, what? You do not? And she's like, should we compare them? They also very high school girl behavior.
Very.
Yeah. Let's see. I have this is on just randomly had some strings available. Yeah. She just pulls that out of her pocket. I thought that that it was supposed to be like a school play, but I do have a note that they were doing it for the little theater. This is a community theater show. Does she actually have the biggest boobs? Yeah, I'm pretty sure she does.
I'm
reasonably certain that she does.
Yeah.
I only sexualize the outers. Sorry.
Just for you.
Yeah. But, there's a bunch of Luna being horny in the deep dub. She's like,
Yeah.
I want to get kissed like a man.
You like Usagi's like falling asleep while reading Snow White, and Luna's like, "Wow, I wonder if she's having a dream about romance. Oh, I really dream about like getting kissed by a sexy tomcat." Blah blah blah. And like, oh, I hope she's dreaming of romance. And then she wakes Usagi up, and Usagi's like, "Oh, dang it, I was dreaming about a bow bun." I'm like, "What? Wait, that I once well, why can't a girl dream about a man?"
No, because she's 14. She dream. Just want to pick on it. Like, I don't know. I'd take a bow bun over a man.
Same. Your odds are better with the bow bun.
Bow bun's probably not going to let me go. I also have a note that says, I can't take notes. Morgana is laying on my note bun.
Well,
I witnessed it. I'm calling her the mean queen from now on. Everyone in this episode is a drama queen.
everybody, like,
Everyone is a drama queen in this episode. I, too, once used let's practice stage kissing as an excuse to get close to a crush.
oh my God, good for you.
Yeah, and me and An have that in common.
Did you take it from the pages of Sailor Moon?
Nope, I came up with that one on my own. It's not a hard leap of logic to make. You're in a play or we just want to teach someone a cool new skill. You can convince them to practice stage kissing with you.
That's so funny.
And, get to stand really close and touch faces with a person you like. All right. I think the Inners are very sweet as a friend group. I have a note on that too. For a second, I was like, there's no explanation for why the dwarves are mascot characters. And I was like, that also, like, once again, implied Umino's rich parents. He has like a computer. He's online in 1992. He's on message boards. And then he although was renting 6 mascot copies.
They were also short at work.
Yeah, I think you're actually supposed to read Melvin's like mascot costumes are cute as being childish, not as being horny.
Yeah, and my furry jokes, to be clear, are not what the episode is implying.
I mean,
genuinely
like,
think they're wholesome, adorable.
He is also on, E631 furry porn website. He's definitely on there. He knows what that is, and he would have corrected me. Yeah, I'm Brandon. Okay, cool. I'm very online.
I've shown my hand that I support the furry community so much. They are so good to artists.
Yours, but people are gonna be like, "What were you doing at the double sacrament?" I'm like, "He's 621. I was on
I'm so close. You were so close at it.
Like, what were you doing at the double sacrament? I'm on Tumblr.
Next time you will remember, that is the somersault.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 621. It's not a website I frequent. I'm just very online. I was off by 10, yes. I do like that the Inners are like, Anne's pathetic, so we're just going to go along with her obvious lie because she clearly wants the attention and we're going to give it to her. But I also agree with Usagi that is not an acceptable way to pay. Let's see. Oh, yes, I have a note about Anne and Anne that just says these two lecherous motherfuckers. It's true. They could both of them just want to fuck and they could solve a lot of problems just by doing that together.
Yeah.
With each other. They could just become swingers. And I think it would make their lives much happier.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, we really have to play up. There's a lot of a thing I find annoying about these kind of sitcom-y things where it's like, these two people could just be a toxic swinger couple that might even be funnier, but no, they have to miscommunicate and shout at each other all the time. Yes, drama. See what else? I also love that everyone just rolls with the fact that it's a Sentai show now. They all transform. People are
It's very again.
Like,
They just
we
go
don't
for
really
it.
we didn't want to see Hamlin. We sure didn't want to see mascot costumes, Snow White. No, why did the 6 match from? Oh, so the subtitles that I have for this also translate Ale and An as Eru, E-I-R-U, and so the pun that their name together spells out alien. Alien makes a lot more sense to me, and I like that. I liked that better. You get the joke a little bit more. Because otherwise it's alien, and that's not really what alien sounds like. Yeah, bubble spray freezing. I had another note about that where, like, again, bubble spray freezing. Her player didn't want to spec out into something else, so just was like, okay, besides providing concealment and breaking us, like, it also, I don't know, fucking immobilize them? They're like, yeah, sure. It's ice now, and she's like, sick. I don't have to memorize the I like, there's a lot of moments in the show where it's like, how does An know to show up at the thing? Like, she's a villain, and the storyteller can just throw her into she shows up, everyone gets points for the enemy points for her arriving or whatever they like. Or one of the players can be really fucking funny. Like, one of the other inners players was like at the session, but not in the scene. Amy's player, like, we all get XP if she shows up. So can she show up? And then GM is like, yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, no, she definitely uses Crescent Beam Shower a couple times in this series.
In this series.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
I like it. Thunder Dragon and Fire Soul Bird are like the real winners of this.
They're fantastic. Yeah. Unfortunately, that just means that
Bubble Spray Freeze kind of the one that is.
Because they add like Crescent Beam to Crescent Beam Shower adds AoE to what was previously a single target attack. Thunder Dragon, presumably
More
damage is appropriate for Jupiter. Firebird appears to be like targeting. Yeah, like the heat seeking or target seeking. And then like Spray Freezing adds like an additional debuff.
Yeah, immobilizing. Yeah. Tell me a system, pick a system. That's all I got. It was not. Oh, but I also have another just Mamoru's community theater debut.
Yeah. A thing that I super love in the DiC dub is they really play up how bad of actors all of them. Oh God, they're all hilariously bad, all of them. Which is always fun to me when you see an actor purposely acting badly or a singer purposely singing out of tune, which is incredibly hard to do.
Yeah.
It's always going to delight me, and it delights me here as well.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Usagi's still on script the night before the play.
Yes.
Yep, the night before the play. She's like in her boiler.
Like, we're on the wall. Like, that's the line that should be easiest.
Yeah. Ura's roles for everybody is pretty good.
Sarah, you want to read it?
Yeah, sure. Pop it. Ami is a debuffer. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Mako DPS, also correct. Ray's an assassin. Yeah. Mars Flame Sniper eventually. Yeah. And Minako's crowd control. So crowd control with a side order of like all of them. Yeah. Damage based. Usagi's the healer. Yep. Good spread for a team. Yep, for sure. A balanced party.
Yeah, but otherwise, I don't think there's too much to talk about with these episodes.
It's pretty. Yeah, we got 4 character power ups, and then we got the Snow White episode, which was the most delightful one. I think this is overall the Kaiju Tree arc is a pretty short arc, so we get rolling back into moving the plot forward again.
Hellrun D&D campaign. First off, I did this in Powered by the Apocalypse the first time I did it. And if I did it again this time, I'd probably do it We could do it in Exalted too, but that's a lot of work.
Sure.
It's more complicated than those other systems.
But still probably more suited genre-wise than D&D.
Yeah.
I just looked back behind me for the cat.
That's your one.
No, it's Michi's cat. And so I instinctively, because I knew there was a bed behind us, I looked up for this thing that I looked in the room with us.
I thought you mistook the brown blanket
for Max. Yeah, no. One of Michi's cats walked past into that ground, and instinctively,
you're like,
my mind interpreted that as our background.
She walked through his background into ours.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious.
It's the Google Docs link to my homebrew design for that Powered by the Apocalypse. They removed and I don't care if that in the public. You can see how I statted up everybody. And everyone had a relationship chart they had to fill in, and like Rays were like, blank drives me, and it's censored. Being crazy. Blank is proven to be trustworthy. Blank is wants to find even if Blank knows about my secret insecurities. Darkness linked. We were all yes. And then everybody had like XP triggers too, where if you acted to type, you got XP. Oh yeah, AP. There was like had like they can build on. Yeah, Mars getting one for when you get angry rather than show concern or affection. Yeah, like with someone, including your friends.
Oh my God.
Bring the fight to your enemies instead of waiting or when you put yourself in harm's way. Someone else. 5's the hardest one. When your application of violence truly solves the problem. There's and the only ones I wrote up were the characters that people were potentially interested in playing. You're like, where's Sailor So-and? It's because someone didn't want to play them.
Right.
But yes, you can put that up. I don't mind if people see this personal design I did for a Sailor Moon home game like some time ago. Yeah, I really like Bakoto's too. Yeah, like her easiest one is when she steps up to fight someone so someone else doesn't have to, or when she does something typically feminine. It was very her 3 when you get in the way of an attack directed at someone else, where she person asks questions later. She does do a lot. And then the hardest one is when your self-sacrifice lets someone else sit with it.
Would you want me to share this to Discord?
You can share it to Discord if you.
I think Discord people would.
Yeah, I think I genuinely wrote this like 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I think this was 2014. I think I wrote this in 2014.
I'll put it under media link.
Yeah.
That's like a fully playable document. Like the starting up of Usagi was specifically about her having been depowered as part of the plot. And then like she had the conceit was basically the Dark Kingdom won and had like successfully taken over Earth. Arcs 2, 3, and 4 don't happen. And then Galaxy shows up. But 5 still happens. Yep. So like it was about Shadow Galactica arriving at a Conqueror's and dealing with that. And it was really fun. And I had way too much fun being the GM and like threatening the players. Way too much fun. It's true. She is the best villain. She's the villain. I had too much fun role playing that and being a menace.
I love it.
GM is a player too. You should have fun being a villain. It's part of the fun. Anyway, this isn't my tabletop RPG show. There's a lot. If you want to hear me talk about, you can find that other places on the internet. Sure. But yeah, that was about that one time. I won't. You secret stayed with me. I know. I'd the other Nephilia stand. It fleets in my mind. That's. It's you can like who you like. Yeah. But let Galaxy to be clear. My second. They're 1 and 2 for me. Just in the other order. Yeah. Yeah. I briefly had a player playing Queen Beryl. So Beryl has a stat up in there, and my wife played Kunzite.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you ever thought about doing a Sailor Moon roleplay stream?
We've talked about it before. It would require a lot more putting together. Like, there's a lot more prep work that would go into putting something like that together, as far as getting together a large group of people, organizing that stream, and then putting together something that would either be playable in a single session or, God forbid, trying to organize something longer running.
Yeah. We could maybe I could cook up a one-shot using Fabula Ultima or just repurposing it. Yeah. We could do it. It's just that putting together a roleplay stream, an actual play type, is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the pros who do it actually do a lot of like scripting. Like, yeah, they don't argue with me. Like, they don't like write out their lines, but they will retake and redo things that don't go the way they want them to. And like, it's really tightly polished and just like an excellent production. But it's for us amateurs who do not have a film crew or are professional improvisers, it's a much taller ask.
Yeah.
But I think we could do like a one shot time. I would have to cook up a plot. Yeah, reality TV is all scripted. You are correct. You totally. But yeah, like none of us are professional improvisers. But like maybe for a Christmas episode or something, because it's not
episode or like Sailor Moon's birthday in June.
Oh yeah, that would be fun when it's to do an actual play. Like Sailor Moon anniversary date is basically back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would, if I were doing that for a stream, I think I'd use Fabula Ultima. Ultima's so easy to teach and play. You want to build a character in. It's so easy. And it's already a game that's meant to emulate JRPGs. It's very much like, which Final Fantasy can you play? All of them. You can make characters from Fire Emblem in it really easily. You can make Chrono Cross characters. You can make Dragon Quest characters. And you make up your own setting. It doesn't come with a default setting. I love it. It's shout out to Fabulous Ultima. And you can very easily build a like, I'm Mars, so I'm an elementalist. I use fire. And I'm a sharpshooter because I want to have Mars flame super. I'm a fury, so I'm a berserker. And then you can be a Mars, right? Like done. Yeah. Try to keep it to a group of 5 max. Inner Senshi. I would probably let anybody play any combination of Senshi that they wanted to. I would probably leave it open to all. But a small group. Yeah, like any 5. And so it'll be an episode where like it'll be one of those funky episodes from like the beginning of Stars where it's like, Uranus and Mercury have paired off. That would be the fun. Yeah. So I got to geek out about that for a minute. That was fun.
Hey, it's like we always have the open possibilities.
And it seems like that's the thing our audience is interested.
Yeah, which I have no experience in, so you'd have to teach me everything.
Yeah,
but
that's why we're gonna play Fabulous Ultima, which is really easy.
Okay.
Yeah, you can add 2 numbers together. You can add 2 numbers together.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Talk to just a bit of debut. Oh my god. All right. With that, we come to the end of our show. Thank you for joining us for Bishoujo Senshi Slumber Party Sailor Moon Deep Dub episodes 46 to 50 discussion.
And as always, fellow Moonies, check us out on all our socials. Follow us to find out the next time we're going live. You can find all our links in the link tree in our description. Don't forget to tune in to Eternal Mooncast on December 7th with special guest Lunar Lynn for a Sailor V special.
Really?
That we had talked about a Sailor V episode, so maybe you can bring up the like, wouldn't it have been cool if this was more about Sailor V?
Yeah, I think we should.
Also, Ura says this is literally the most they've smiled all week.
I'm so glad.
I want to make her hands like an old person.
Yeah.
And I'll do
K-pop song.
K-pop heart. The K-pop heart is like, I know that's a K-pop thing, but it reads like I'm making the world's smallest heart for you.
Obviously, from
like
the
the
moon.
It is cute, but it also has like I'm playing the world's smallest violin. Go from a heart to like I'm playing the world's smallest violin. Miss Monica, you want to know what I'm up to and interested in, which does in fact include all things tabletop RPGs. I am in fact quite an expert on that subject. Feel free to follow me at Gay Wizard Emporium on Tumblr. There's also a link to my design and RPG blog as well, but that's my main one. I keep up to date on progress of my novel. I'm writing a novel. Really hoping that's going to an agent before the end of the year, but it's a process. And I promise Sailor Moon fans will like it when it ever eventually comes out. But you can also see whatever else I'm up to and enjoying at the moment. Right. Scroll. Yeah, give you a little scroll.
I've been your co-host, Relia. If you like what I do and you want to follow me on social media, you can find our most active socials popping up on the screen below. If you want to follow my cosplay adventures, you can find me on Instagram at Relia Lacadamon. Or if you want to follow my artwork, I'm on Tumblr, Art Crystal, and on Blue Sky as Relia. Thanks, as always, for supporting the show. And join us for our next slumber party in just a couple of weeks on December 14th.
Yeah. All right. And as always, I've been your host, Michi. You can find my personal socials at MEW21 across the web for the K-pop reactions. You can check out the channel K-pop Voyage. For our parent show, Eternal Mooncast, you can find previous episodes of our show on YouTube. This episode will be coming out not this Monday, but the Monday after at 7 p.m. Eastern. We appreciate any likes, comments, follows, or whatever you'd like to support our show in your own way. As a quick reminder, these have just been our personal opinions, and we celebrate all respectful Mooney opinions here. And good night, everybody. And definitely, we'll check out that song. Don't worry. All right. Have a good night.
Good night.